I guess I have no reason to doubt them, right?
Not so far. They turned in a strong quarter, and they had a stronger than expected outlook for comparable sales this year, which definitely is an indication that they think that they're going to do pretty well. A big part of that is just their big, powerful brand that says everyday low prices. And as you said, they're expecting that they may pick up some additional customers this year as people become a little more price conscious, which is something that they really haven't been the last couple of years. With inflation, rising so quickly right now, the expectation is that shoppers will be looking a lot more carefully at prices, and Walmart thinks that that's a time when it wins more customers and more loyalty.
It's interesting, though, that in the last earnings, people beat up on that a bit. They didn't like the fact that here's a company that's willing to swallow those price increases to keep the market share, to keep the loyal customer. Whereas this earnings season, as inflation's become ever more real, they are kind of impressed by it. But is it because the margins ended up being so strong, as we were just speaking about with our previous guest? How much is Walmart worried about passing on rising costs?
I think that's exactly right. I think what changed, today compared with 3 months ago is that they did show that they could shore up their margins. Their gross margin, just a broad measure of profitability, rose very slightly. I think the amount of the increase is less important than the fact that it didn't fall and outperformed Wall Street's expectations. What Walmart is saying there is that they can figure out ways to pull all their levers to keep profits at least steady without necessarily ramping up prices very aggressively. That said, they have been taking some price. They had some what they called price management in the fourth quarter, so definitely moving up some prices. But at the same time, they're also looking at other ways to cut prices on particular goods, and try to send a message to consumers that if you're looking for a good deal, then you got to come here.
Bargaining power over suppliers is clearly a key one where Walmart obviously has the upper hand. Can you sort of fold that over into some of the other retailers that we're expected to hear from as well? If they do or don't have the same types of relationships and bargaining power with suppliers, what does that mean for them?
Yeah, I can only imagine some of the discussions going on between Walmart and its suppliers. They're probably pretty intense. And because of Walmart's scale, it's able to oftentimes extract better terms than other companies. If there was a big message out of their report today, I think it's that they see consumers as hanging in there, doing okay. And I think we'll probably see that with Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, Costco, all of which are going to report in the next 2 weeks. I think the big question is whether they have the same levers to pull when it comes to controlling costs.
The last time that we were in like a really long, protracted recession, and so kind of ignore what happened in 2020 here, Walmart was in a much different space, competitively speaking here. I mean, they're not necessarily, their everyday low prices aren't necessarily the only everyday low prices out there. Not only that, the sort of democratization of internet searching and being able to shop around for prices is just much more prevalent today. And I'm wondering, does that at all work against them?
It could. I think that the other thing that's changed since the great financial crisis is just the progress that they've made in trying to catch up at least a little to Amazon and other e-commerce retailers. And so they've got a whole lot more offerings, not just in the stores, but also online. And what might help them is their power in groceries, which is going to be a place where consumers are among the most price conscious. But it's an open question. They used to be kind of the only game in town when it came to low prices, and now they've got all kinds of competition online, and they've got some brick and mortar retailers that also have developed a reputation, and well deserved, for keeping prices awfully low.